Okay, so if you want buildings to be off the road, basically the simple rules for it are you want to have a road to all of your resource plots. You want to have all of your cores be right next to here because it literally just comes right out, done, and now you can do the next one. So to keep your travel times low, you want all these guys really close, as close as you can. You want one hospital attached to a road. If you can keep one at a really low level and max all the other ones, that would also be beneficial. But as you can see, by just having one, I still have my limit. Even if you had them all off, you would still be able to use your hospital. You just can't access it to heal people. So you want one on. You want all your storage on. And these ones you kind of want to play with a little bit. I'm not sure how the game figures it out. But when you, for example, go and get some fuel, this guy's going to leave and go right here. That's why I have this one as close as I can. That way it just goes there and it's done, as opposed to putting it, all the way over here and it's got to travel further. So you want a lot of your storage close as well if you can. You want to keep all your houses on. That is good. Power you want to have on. That is good. Assuming you're using power in your base. If you're not using power in your base, then ignore it and take these guys off the roads. Even if this guy is full and I put him here, you can see it's going to drop my production. My production's at 245. Put him back on, and now it jumps back up to 315. So you want to have, if you're going to be using power, you want it on there. Whether or not you're going to be using power is kind of just based on your own personal preference. If you have power going, it's going to cost you fuel, but all your other production will be up. And depending on how negative you're getting is how productive everything is. So right now I'm good on everything. You can see my electric supply is 100%. If I take 2 off, now it's going to drop down and it'll be negative. Now I have 6.7 million, so it's not going to show you what I was hoping to show. I didn't really think about that. It's got to eat through all that first. Obviously, you used to be able to just buy electricity at the helicopter, but you can't necessarily do that as well anymore. Those are the ones that you basically need always on. Everything else works just fine not being on. So we can start over here. What I've also done to help make it easier for me and my OCD is I buy all these zones. They're actually not that expensive. I mean, 2 million of each kind of resource isn't the end of the world, and that's after I've already unlocked a few of them. So I buy a lot of these guys often. That way I just have more room to kind of work around and mess with stuff. Banks you do not need on the road. The only reason I have them is because I have an activated skill that I like to be able to get to and use. And also, I can still do a bank rush by only having one on the road, but that's a VIP thing. So that's all that you really need on. What I like to do in my base is I keep a set area of, things I use once a day. So VIP shop, I put it here. We just had our reset. Scroll. I got some resources. I can go in here. I buy a couple teleports. I don't really want anything else that's in here at the moment. So then I'm done with this. And I will not look at it again for an entire day. So I don't really need it. Helicopter is the same way. Class Hall is the same way. The Doomsday, we're not in Doomsday, so I can't show you all of it right now, but you don't physically need to be going in and pressing all these buttons. The only time you actually need to click on the building is to get the healing vials. Otherwise, you can just go into events, and it will be an event, and you just click on it there. This guy, I like to use them so that I can mess with my formations and heal my base. Outside of that, I'm not really using this thing. And then again, for parts, I'll put it on there once a day, load it up, at 2.5 hours times whatever that is, 12. I basically only need to look at that once a day. Here for all of my barracks and such, I can just attach that road. I can go in here and, you can see this guy is working. These ones are done and they can just sit there. And now they sit and I don't really have to worry about it. Basically, right here, I just got buildings that I'm working on actively, so I can set them on a road and I can start building and just kind of go from there. Everything else doesn't need to be on the road. Your missiles don't need to be on the road to be able to launch a missile at somebody or to use your anti-missiles. So again, my banks are off. I don't use all of my cores, so those are off. Power's off. Hospitals off. Bunks off. War rooms off. You can go ahead and click on your troop type and you can see I still have a bonus even though these guys are off. Cloning, again, you only click on this building twice a week, for your cloning. So there's no reason to have that guy on. All your vehicle enhancements and speeds and protections and your barracks, none of these things need to be on. Your ration truck doesn't need to be on. None of these things need to be on. These guys don't need to be on. Personally, I do not fill this up. You can see my population is not at its max, and even though it shows that it's going down, it just sits at that number. By it not being maxed, I take a penalty in terms of how much money I'm producing. But you can see at 112,000 an hour, if I'm getting a little bit more production out of that, I'm like 150,000 an hour. So I'm not gaining a ton of money for having to put 5 million resources into this thing twice a day. That's a lot. So 5 million resources twice a day is a lot to keep up with when I can really just go here. I've already done the helicopter a couple times today, so the prices won't necessarily be very reflective. Trade, and I can go to the water. I can sell 3 million water right now and get $1.2 million. So you're actually going to get more money selling it at your helicopter than you are keeping your ration station full, considering that's the only element to it. Your tower can stay back there, and you can look at this awesome report that stung. But my tower was still working. So all these things all work. You can still scout and all those things, all your missiles, everything works. and you just put them on the road when you need them. Otherwise, you don't. Yeah, that's about all there is to it. If you look right now, I can operate at 182,000 watts per hour. If I were to put all this stuff on the road, what would be an easy make a road? So now everything's on the road. Yep, everybody's connected, everybody's happy. And I'm 405 versus 182. So that's a pretty big difference. And it makes things really difficult when you have everything on a road. You can remove my road. And you can see it's dropping back down now. Now why I went down to 227 versus 182. Oh, because this guy's still on. So you just want to mess around with that and take things off the road as you see fit, and that fits your playing style. Maybe this doesn't mean anything to you, but it does help a lot of people save a little bit of money. Pretty much the only feature that I don't get from doing this is on this guy. If somebody's using advanced exploration is in your base, you'll get an icon here. Because I have him over here, I don't get the icon. So again, I put everything all the way up on one side of the screen and basically try not to ever look there because I'm too OCD about it. So that would be my recommendation if you're going to do this. You can either do simple things like this where you use 3 spaces and you can just put things on a road or off a road really easily. Or the other thing that people do is they move them manually. If you're going to be moving things manually, you need to do this kind of a pattern where you have everything having a road in between. If you don't do that and you try to move things, it'll start getting unhappy with you. So for example, I can put that guy there and it's fine. You know, the game doesn't care. So now that I have that guy there, and let's just say I wanted to go upgrade this building, I put it here, I upgrade it, happy birthday, and I want to go put it back. It says cannot place it there because you have those other buildings in the way. So by putting these roads somewhat in between everything, I'm actually able to, at my will, add, remove, find all these buildings. So that's all there really is to it. I don't think I forgot anything. But again, just play around with it and put things on, off, and just do whatever kind of customized fits for you.